There might be something in your fridge right now that seems completely harmless. A vegetable. One you probably eat every day, believing it's good for your health. But once you're over 60, eating isn't just about staying full or even staying fit. Every food you choose, every habit you keep, can quietly become a double-edged sword for your heart. Have you ever wondered? Could the very vegetables you trust to be healthy be silently putting your heart at risk? I'm a cardiologist. And I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because I've seen too many older adults pay the price. Not because they did anything wrong, but because they didn't do enough. They ate more vegetables. They cut back on sugar, avoided greasy foods, skipped the fried stuff. They thought they were playing it safe. But what they didn't know is that some vegetables can suddenly spike your blood pressure. Others can interfere with your medication, making treatments less effective. And some can even carry bacteria that an aging immune system can no longer fight off. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 common vegetables that carry hidden risks for people over 60. More importantly, I'll show you how to handle them safely and share healthier alternatives, so you can still enjoy your meals without putting your heart in danger. After 60, your body changes. Your immune system weakens. Your metabolism slows down. And that's why even small things, a plate of vegetables, a cooking method, a bad food combo, can quietly trigger serious heart issues. The good news? All of these risks are preventable if you have the right information. And the fact that you're watching this video means you're already on the right path. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I have plenty more practical tips made specifically for older adults. Drop a 1 in the comments if you find this video helpful. Or a 0 if you'd like me to improve. Every bit of feedback helps. Now, the first vegetable on this list might just be what you're preparing for lunch today. Don't miss it, because your heart deserves the right kind of care. 1. Spinach, the golden vegetable that could silently harm older hearts. This is the vegetable you've always believed was good for you. For years, spinach, also known as the super green, has been praised as a superfood. It's rich in iron, loaded with fiber, and packed with vitamin K, a nutrient essential for blood and bone health. But did you know that very superfood might be quietly weakening your heart's defenses? If you're over 60 and taking heart medication, I'm not saying this to cause panic. I'm saying it because I've seen it too many times. As a heart surgeon, I've treated patients who seem to be living healthily. They ate clean. They drank green smoothies. They avoided fried foods. They followed all the right rules. And then, one day, they came back after a stroke. Or worse. The reason? Not red meat. Not sugar. But a morning spinach smoothie. Sounds unbelievable? Let me explain. Vitamin K, the double-edged sword hidden in spinach. Spinach is extremely high in vitamin K. For younger people, that's a good thing. But for older adults taking blood thinners like warfarin, often prescribed after strokes, heart attacks, or atrial fibrillation, vitamin K can be a serious disruptor. It thickens the blood. It reduces the effectiveness of your medication, leaving your body vulnerable to dangerous clots. And the scariest part? You won't feel a thing until it's too late. You'll think everything's fine. You'll believe the medicine is working. But silently, vitamin K is weakening the fragile barrier between you and your next stroke. All because of one healthy-looking salad a day. I once treated a man in his 70s. Extremely disciplined. Every meal included leafy greens. Spinach was his go-to. After a few months, he had a mild stroke. Not because of the medication, but because he ate too well in the wrong way. The solution: eat mindfully, eat with awareness. Spinach isn't the enemy. The problem lies in inconsistency, in not informing your doctor, and in a lack of knowledge when changing your diet. So here's what you need to do. If you're taking blood thinners, keep your spinach intake consistent. Don't suddenly eat more, or cut it out completely. Never add green smoothies to your diet without consulting your doctor. And most importantly, don't believe all vegetables are harmless. Every food has two sides. Be cautious, not fearful. Stay informed, not overwhelmed. Because if even a harmless green like spinach can interfere with your medication, how many other seemingly safe vegetables might be putting you at silent risk each day? Keep watching. Because the second vegetable on this list, a popular favorite already sitting in your fridge, may contain more salt than an entire bag of potato chips. If you're still with me and find this valuable, drop a 1 in the comments. And now, let's move on to vegetable number TW. 2. Raw sprouts, a crisp bite that may not suit everybody. At first glance, they look fresh and harmless. Sprouts, especially varieties like alfalfa or mung bean, have long been praised as nutrient-rich and energizing. Many older adults, careful with every bite, believe that tossing a handful of raw sprouts onto their meals will give their body a health boost. But what most don't realize is, when not used properly, this well-intended habit can bring more trouble than benefit. Behind the delicate texture lies a sensitive breeding ground. To grow, sprouts require warmth, moisture, and darkness. The same conditions that make them vulnerable to unwanted bacteria. For younger people with strong immune systems, this usually isn't a big deal. But for older adults, the body reacts more slowly. Recovery is slower, too. What seems like a light, clean addition to your dish can become a hidden strain on your health if not handled properly. When the body needs rest, don't force it to work overtime. I've met many older patients who were extremely careful with their meals. They chose organic greens, fresh raw foods, yet ended up with health setbacks, simply because the food hadn't been properly cooked. Once you pass 60, your heart and body no longer respond as swiftly. If your system has to digest food and fight off sensitive elements in the same meal, that's extra work for your heart, your liver, your entire metabolism. Good intentions don't always lead to good outcomes. You eat clean. You choose raw vegetables. You avoid fried and greasy foods. But if your preparation doesn't match your age or your body's needs, those healthy choices might actually be working against your well-being. Sprouts aren't the problem. It's how they're used that makes the difference. The smart choice: light cooking, lower risk, keep the nutrients. Lightly stir-fry, quick blanch, or gently steam your sprouts before eating. Avoid eating them raw if your health is fragile or you're on special medications. Listen to your body and always consult a doctor or nutritionist when making changes to your diet. It's not just what you eat, but how your body handles it. After 60, every food choice is less about taste and more about compatibility with your health. What worked for your body at 40 may not serve you well now. And if something as small as a sprout requires careful consideration, how many other familiar vegetables could also be silently affecting your medication? Or putting pressure on your heart? The answer might be hiding in today's menu. Let's explore more in the next part of this series. Vegetable number 3, pickled cucumbers, a sweet invitation from a silent trap. Some things in the kitchen look friendly, but they're not as simple as they seem. Pickled cucumbers. Crunchy, tangy, refreshing. They show up in countless meals. Sometimes just a small corner on a plate. Tiny, easy to eat, seemingly harmless. But often, it's the smallest things that carry the most unexpected consequences. A few slices of pickles, hardly worth thinking about, right? But what most people don't realize is that even a small portion can contain sodium levels reaching the warning threshold. Just one serving can pack over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly 2/3 of the daily recommended intake for older adults. And once you pass the age of 60, your body doesn't process salt as efficiently as it once did. Excess sodium draws water into your bloodstream, increasing pressure within the circulatory system. The result? Your heart works harder. Your blood vessels strain more. And over the years, these silent burdens begin to stack up quietly, dangerously. What haunts me the most isn't the numbers. It's the patients I've met. People who tried their best to live a healthy life. They ate in moderation. They exercised regularly. They avoided fats. They gave up bad habits. And still, their blood pressure wouldn't stabilize. When we trace things back, the culprit wasn't anything dramatic. It was often just a small side of pickled cucumbers. Day after day. Not because they were careless, but because no one ever told them. The danger isn't in the salty taste. It's in how quietly it becomes part of daily life, leaving no obvious signs, until the body finally speaks up, in ways no one ever wants to experience. You don't have to give them up entirely, but you do need to take control of your salt intake. Prioritize home-cooked meals. Read ingredient labels carefully. Replace added salt with natural flavorings, like lemon, garlic, or fresh herbs. Sometimes, the difference between a strong heart and a health crisis doesn't lie in the big decisions, but in the tiny ones we make each day. But this is just part of the story. Because there's another vegetable. Soft, flavorful, and oh so familiar. That's contributing to rising inflammation and creeping blood pressure in millions of people without their knowledge. And it might be sitting in your fridge right now. Stay tuned for the next part. Because the right knowledge at the right time can change, even save a life. Vegetable number 4, slow-cooked tomatoes, a familiar favorite that quietly undermines your health. They sit in our kitchens, glowing red and looking oh so innocent. Tomatoes, sweet, vibrant, and always praised for their heart-friendly qualities. They blend seamlessly into soups, stews, and rich sauces. For most of us, tomatoes are a daily staple. But here's the twist many never see coming. The way we cook tomatoes could be silently turning them into a health hazard. Especially when they're simmered for hours or cooked on high heat, tomatoes lose their nutritional charm. And worse, they might even spark internal inflammation without us realizing it. Fire doesn't just cook, it strips. When tomatoes are overcooked, particularly in oil or alongside heavy amounts of salt or sugar, they start to lose the very nutrients that make them beneficial: vitamin C, polyphenol, and powerful antioxidants, the guardians of our blood vessels and cellular youth. And in their place? Oxidized compounds that may quietly trigger inflammatory responses in the body, especially for those over 60, whose immune systems and detox pathways are no longer as robust. I recall meeting a soft-spoken elderly man. He was meticulous with his diet: no alcohol, no fried foods. His daily routine? A vegetarian lifestyle, with a particular love for a tomato-based noodle soup he cooked religiously. It seemed innocent enough, until his body began sending subtle alarms: digestive discomfort, chest tightness, inflamed stomach lining, erratic blood pressure. We took a close look at his meals and made one small change: removing long-cooked, salty tomato dishes from his menu. A few weeks later, his condition stabilized. He said something I'll never forget. "I never thought the dish I trusted most could be what wore me down the longest." Tomatoes aren't the enemy, but your cooking method might be. If you love tomatoes, try this instead. Eat them fresh or lightly sauté in a touch of olive oil, not boiled to oblivion. Steer clear of canned tomato sauces, which are often loaded with salt and sugar. Balance them with greens, legumes, or herbs to soften their acidity. And most importantly, if you suffer from gastritis, acid reflux, hypertension, or chronic inflammation, pay attention to how your body reacts to cooked tomato dishes. Because sometimes, it's not the exotic or unfamiliar meals that exhaust our health. It's the very ones we trust and never question. So, if a glossy red dish can quietly ignite a storm inside your body, are you truly sure your kitchen is a safe haven? Let's move on to vegetable number 5, one that, when paired with heart medications, may silently throw your body's rhythm off balance. Vegetable number 5, red chili pepper, a spicy flavor, a trembling heart. Some dishes bring us back to childhood. Some flavors awaken old memories. And some spices? They make every meal feel complete, so full of character, they become impossible to leave out. For many older adults, especially past the age of 60, red chili isn't just a seasoning. It's warmth. It's routine. It's a quiet companion that always finds its place at the dinner table. A few slices of red chili in a hot bowl of soup. A spoonful of chili oil poured over noodles. It all seems harmless. But behind that bold, fiery taste lies a silent chain reaction within your cardiovascular system. Red chili peppers, especially the hot varieties, activate your sympathetic nervous system, triggering the release of adrenaline. Your heart beats faster. Blood vessels tighten. Blood pressure spikes, sometimes sharply. Younger hearts can usually handle it. But for aging hearts, already worn down by time, that burst of flavor excitement can quietly become an invisible burden. I've met many patients who were genuinely puzzled. I've been eating healthy, no salt, no fried food. Why is my blood pressure still unstable? They never suspected that a few slices of chili, eaten daily out of habit, were quietly throwing off their heart rhythm. Even more concerning, frequent chili consumption can increase chronic inflammation in the blood vessels. Each spicy meal is like lighting a tiny flame in a cardiovascular system already struggling to stay steady. No warnings. No obvious symptoms. Until one night. A strange chest pain. A sudden shortness of breath that wakes them from sleep. But does this mean you have to live without flavor? Not at all. You don't need spiciness to enjoy rich, satisfying meals. There's an entire garden of herbs and aromatics that can bring depth and balance without putting strain on your heart. Garlic, ginger, scallions, kaffir lime leaves, a touch of fresh citrus juice. Learn to season gently, so your heart doesn't have to fight quietly behind the scenes. Yes, food brings emotion. But after 60, it's inner peace you should be savoring. Not a heart that races after every meal. And if something as small as a red chili pepper can stir your heart without warning, then what about the foods labeled healthy? Because there's one more vegetable, often praised as a natural remedy. But when used the wrong way, it can throw off your body's natural rhythm in just a matter of hours. Final thoughts: 5 familiar vegetables, 1 big lesson. We've just walked through 5 everyday vegetables. From spinach, hailed as a golden superfood, to the fiery allure of red chili peppers. But what lingers after each story isn't just nutritional facts or health warnings. It's something deeper. A quiet truth worth remembering. Food is never just food. And as we grow older, our bodies are no longer what they used to be. A dish that's medicine for one person might silently harm another. Especially when medications are involved, or when the weight of time has begun to leave its mark. Spinach, when eaten too much or paired the wrong way, can disrupt your body's delicate sodium-potassium balance. Raw bean sprouts, crisp and refreshing, can harbor dangerous bacteria. If your immune system is no longer as strong, just a few slices of pickled cucumber can pack enough sodium to send your blood pressure soaring. Well-cooked tomatoes, seemingly heart-friendly, can contain acid and oxalates that trigger silent inflammation in aging bodies. And red chili peppers, bold in flavor, can unleash a storm of adrenaline on a heart that's no longer young. No one is saying vegetables are bad, but how you eat them, when you eat them, and the condition of your own body. That's what truly matters. I've met countless older adults, disciplined, health-conscious, exercising regularly, eating right. Yet still, their health shows no improvement. Sometimes, it even declines. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they're missing the quiet details that few ever talk about. That's why this channel exists. Not to scare you into giving up all your favorite foods, but to help you live smarter, eat joyfully, and protect your health with understanding. Think of caring for your body like tending to a rare and precious plant. It doesn't need to be complicated, but it does need care. Not fear, but mindfulness. In the upcoming videos, I'll share more on the sweet traps hiding in snacks for seniors, why some vegetables make you feel more tired, not better, and how to combine nutrition, exercise, and medication safely, wisely, and without stress. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or simply want to help your parents or grandparents stay healthy, click subscribe to this channel. Because every week, we share practical, easy to understand tips to help you not just live longer, but live better, happier, and with greater peace of mind. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the familiar foods in your kitchen that may be quietly telling you something about your own health.